Well, hello there. It's the Range Ronin here. In my mind, two controversial .22 caliber pistols are the Ruger SR22, which is claimed to be a knockoff of the Walther P22, and the Walther P22 itself. So I thought, why not do a head-to-head range session with the two? Stay tuned and find out what happened. The Ruger SR22 and the Walther P22 are very popular pistols, although one can think of others like the Ruger Mark series, the Glock G44, Sig P322, the Browning Buckmark, etc. The Ruger SR22, as mentioned in the opener, has been claimed to be a clone of the Walther P22. Although similar, there are many differences. A range session was planned for shooting each pistol. However, they did occur on two separate days. Today, I put together a marriage of those 2 days. Now, I used the same ammunition for both pistols, as well as the arrangement of the targets, as I knew this comparison was going to happen. With some creative editing on my part, you will witness as close to a side-by-side comparison between the Ruger SR22 and Walther P22 as I can deliver. After shooting both pistols, I will provide a synopsis at the end as a comparison between the two. From such, perhaps, you can draw your own conclusion about each pistol. Now, a spoiler alert. There were issues with each pistol, with the Walther P22 more so, and that resulted in a second range session with the pistol, of which I will present after the initial range session with both pistols. But before I take you to the range, let me run through the basic specifications of each pistol, just to get you familiar with them. All right, so what caused the failure of the slide to lock back on an empty magazine? Well, I'm going to tell you why. With the standard Ruger magazine without an extended floor plate, the slide locked back every time. Failure to lock back was with Ruger magazines with the extended floor plate, which adds an additional 5 rounds, which makes for 15 rounds in the magazine in lieu of 10. If you look at the images, you will see that the front edge of the follower on the standard Ruger magazine tilts a bit more forward than does the follower of the magazine with the extended floor plate. With the load assist button installed, this button forces the follower into this position and keeps it there. The lack of a forward follower tilt is due to the load assist button not being installed, which when pushed down will interfere with the loading of 15 rounds in the magazine, as the follower is forced to stop short by the load assist button. The follower bottoms out for a 10-round capacity, cannot be pressed further downward to load additional rounds. With the load assist button installed, forward lip of the follower is forced forward, thus catching the slide lock and moving it up, which subsequently locks the slide into place at the rear end of its travel. In other words, if you decide to use the extended floor plate to allow for more rounds in the magazine, the pistol loses its ability to lock back on the empty magazine. There is therefore a trade-off: more rounds and a load assist button not installed, or less rounds but locking back on an empty magazine with a load assist button installed. I leave the decision up to the viewer. Personally, I prefer a magazine that locks the slide back when empty. That's just me. To begin my final thoughts, let's first take a look at target comparison between the Walther P22 and the Ruger SR22. Note that while a few shots were off target, the image shows the majority of target impacts. I think that it would be safe to say that the Ruger SR22 outperformed the Walther P22 with all ammunition fired. I think that it would be also safe to say that the Ruger SR22 liked the CCI Minimag over the other ammunition fired. For overall clustering of target impacts, I have to give the Ruger SR22 the nod. Now, let's talk about both pistols' overall performance and just in general. The Walther P22 seemed to favor the CCI standard velocity 40 grain lead round nose the best. Second was the Federal target grade performance 40 grain lead round nose ammunition. Although at the end of the session the P22 bobbled a bit with those, but perhaps that was due to the dirty condition of the pistol by that time. The worst offender was CCI Minimag, with multiple failures to feed, extract, eject, and fire. Of the 3 types of ammunition fired, I really felt that the Walther P22 would run the best with the CCI Minimag. Boy, was I wrong. Perhaps a stronger recoil and hammer spring might have made a difference. I don't know. That is only supposition on my part. Overall, the Walther P22 turned out to be ammunition sensitive. Not so with the Ruger SR22. The SR22 burned through everything I threw in it, but the SR22 was not without fault. The major fault with the SR22 was with the magazines, but more specifically with the Ruger magazines with the extended floor plate that allowed a few more cartridges to be stuffed into them but removed the ability of the pistol to lock back on an empty magazine. With the Ruger standard floor-plated magazine, and also which included the load assist button, an item that must be removed from the Ruger magazine with an extended floor plate to allow the additional cartridges, operations ran without flaw. As far as ergonomics of both pistols, that area is just fine, as both fit in the hand nicely and all controls function as they should. I do favor the safety decocking lever placement of the Ruger SR22 over that of the Walther P22, however. The location of the magazine lock and release of both pistols was not bothersome, although I will say that I had to remember where that lever was on the Walther more than with the more conventional placement on the Ruger. Both worked just fine. With both pistols, moving the safety decocking lever takes the support hand, my left, to move into the up fire position. Forefinger of the left support hand worked well in doing so. Both safety decocking levers, however, can be moved into the decock position pretty easily with the thumb of the shooting hand. Again, I do favor the position of the safety decocking lever of the Ruger. While I did enjoy shooting both pistols, the Ruger SR22 won out, hands down. Well, here I am again, the end of another chapter in the Range Ronin Chronicles. I hope that you found it informative, and I hope that you will return to view my other firearm and firearm gear reviews. Until next time, take care, be vigilant, be armed, be safe.